behind you.
Good evening, Keepers of the Cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and joining me, as always, Mr. This one. Here we go. Steve the Voice White. How you doing tonight, Steve?
G'day.
All right, and of course, we have another person who spends quite a bit of time on the channel. We have Mr. Cliff on Comics. Cliff, how you doing tonight, sir?
Great. Apparently, I'm all the homework this month for Gary B, the casual comic guy. I'm just here. I'm just here all month, except for what next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, you're mine, Gary.
What can I say, guys? He's a good little slut. All right, and of course, our guest of the hour, none other than Mr. Pocan Joe himself. One of our favorite guests to have on here. Just one of our favorite people in the community. Joe, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing awesome. I brought some cool shit. I get to hang out with some cool people. I got some cool suds going on. Let's just make it a party. We'll do some crazy shit.
Hold on. Hold up that little stein you got. That's awesome. That stainless steel. Is that a Pocan Joe creation or did you buy it?
It is. It's pewter, actually.
Nice. That is very awesome, sir.
It doesn't have the clear bottom on it, though, so you can't see if there's a coin in there.
No, this thing is solid and it's heavy.
This is my workout. When he swallows it.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
That's when he knows it's time to fill it back up. Put a new coin in, fill it back up. All right. So, Joe, for those who don't know, who have been living under a rock and haven't ran into you or your YouTube channel, who are you? What do you do? Give the quick 2 minutes on you for anyone who might find you on the rewind that is new to my channel and yours.
Yeah, so I do Pocan Joe comic book and review, or just Pocan Joe in the search bar. I'll pop up. I do weekly comic book calls where I read a bunch of comic books from this week, and I tell you my thoughts on them. I'm a talking head. I would say it's non-biased, but we all know that that's not a real term. So it's based off of what I liked and what I liked. I want to share with you, even the good, bad things. If I read something that's horrible, I want to share that with you too. We have some more things that will be coming up in the next year. Also, twice a week, I do a comic book read along on Mondays and Fridays, where you get to read comic books that are in my collection. I'll play some music and just read along with them. It's a good time. And then I have another channel called Evil Lair Projects and Builds, where I just make the weirdest things for people.
Like this knife.
A steak knife.
That is by far not the weirdest thing. Mine is the weirdest thing. Mine is the weirdest.
Yours is definitely weird.
It is definitely weird. You know what, Gary? Maybe I should have to try it on when I meet you. That'd be great.
Oh, I'll be skipping that.
Oh no, I didn't. No, you're the right one. Are you like 5'9" or something?
Oh, not even. I'm a short guy. I'm
oh, you're perfect. Isn't he perfect, Joe? He's perfect.
Great, your pocket size.
In there. We'll get a couple of pictures. It'll be great.
A lot of times I'm right at that perfect boob height, you know?
Exactly. You know what? We'll make an event out of it. I'll take you to a swingers party. You'll wear it. You're at boob height. We have a good time. We take a couple pictures. It'll be great.
That's amazing. I haven't sat in a swing in forever. I think it was a kid.
I'm not looking to end up like The Hangover, you know?
It looks like they all had a great time, is all I can tell you.
Right. And did I introduce everyone? Steve. All right, we did the 2 minutes. Let's say hi to the chat.
Yep.
We already got 36 comments because we're slacking.
Holy cow.
All right. So first in, as always, James, good to see you tonight, sir. We have Las Cruces. We have Ruby G. Good evening, Ruby G. Great to see you, sir. We have Travis TM Nerdy. Good evening, sir. Great to see you. Yes, it is.
The Canadian Island Boy.
Oh, we also have one of my all-time favorite people, Jerry the Jitterbug. Good evening, Jerry. We have Robert, the comic book G-Spot. Good evening, Robert. Great to see you, sir.
G-Man.
And we have Brad, also from Canada. How you doing tonight, Brad? Great to see you.
My brother.
Another one of my favorite people. Here we go. Joe from
Comics. The other Joe.
My first exposure to Gary B is because I stumbled upon Anachronics.
Oh, there you go. And you can blame him forever. We have Couch and Slouch with C Bizzle.
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 Now he's got beef with you, Joe. We have Zach's collections. Good evening, Zach. Great to see you, buddy. Let's see. We have Digger Jim. Good evening, Jim. Great to see you, buddy.
Digger.
John's Comics with Kids. Always awesome to see you too, John. And we are going through. We have Brian LCS. Good evening, Brian. Great to see you.
Oh, Brian.
Mr. DVH, who just posted a great himself today. What an awesome cover that was.
Yeah, that was amazing. The Alice Cooper cover.
Mr. Mark Andrews. Good evening, sir. Great to see you, Mark.
G'day.
We'll be coming on again in January with an album 1011.
Ooh.
And then we have we have Rich, Comic Cap Collectibles. Good evening, Rich. Great to see you, sir.
Rich.
We have Eddie from the Batcave. How you doing, Eddie? Great to see you, buddy.
Eddie.
Eddie's
We have
great.
Mr. Kenneth Bird. Good evening, Kenneth Bird. Nice to see you, sir. We have Kingdom of Nerds. Good evening. Great to see you.
Bruce. Welcome.
And so far we are caught up. And it would be rude but easy to stumble over Joe. He is mighty but not tall. No, Joe is not.
Joe, he's lovely. He's lovely.
That's just Mark and Joe going back and forth at each other. They have a good
Joe, let me tell you, Joe is still quite fit for his age, and he can drive at night. I mean, like, my God, I'm sure his wife is clinging on to that for dear life.
And no one that was on the road is still allowed to testify against it. That's the important thing.
Did a background check. He's doing all right.
They're going to have words on Friday when we're on the show with Anachronic Comics.
Right. But of course, we're here not for us. Us three are insignificant this evening. It's all about Pocan Joe. And Joe, when I reached out to him, asked him if he could be on tonight and if he had anything particular he wanted to do, he made the suggestion of villain covers, which I can't believe we haven't done. But who better than the evil Lair henchman himself, Mr. Pocan Joe?
First off, we need to do a quick correction. I'm not a henchman. I run my shit.
There you go. I'm sorry, the boss, the evil boss.
The boss.
So tonight for this one, I know I've done first appearances. I did everything I could not to reduplicate some things, and I got a couple of standbys just in case something doesn't hit with the crowd. So definitely, as always, chat. Let me know what you think about these books. I tried to pick mostly things you would see on a wall at a Comic Con, so you can actually see them up close. So let's jump right into it with my first one. I read this series. Everybody knows I read all my comic books, and it was the Bat Metal, and this is the Batman Who Laughs.
Oh man,
This is the Comic Mint exclusive cover. I love this series. This is also the first appearance of Grim Batman, kind of like a Punisher type Batman. But yeah, I just had to.
Yeah, I never saw that homage cover.
That's a cool one. With the Roblins, or is that what they called them? The Roblins? Because they were like goblins.
Yeah. Sounds like something from McDonald's. Rabble.
Rabble.
This is really good. I picked this up at the Baltimore Comic Con when it was first released. Again, another great series, the Batman Who Laughs series. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. And just great covers that went along with it. And we liked the Batman Who Laughs. So, yeah, I had to get that homage. That was solid for me.
Every con you go to, there's somebody dressed up like that.
Yeah. Right?
Now, who is your actual favorite Batman villain, though?
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Just be patient, Gary. It's coming.
And we'll get to my favorite Spider-Man villain. Like, I have a personal connection with most of the villains in here.
G.I. Joe villains. G.I. Joe villain. G.I. Joe villain.
I did not get a G.I. Joe villain this time. I was pretty G.I. Joe heavy the last time I was here. I backed off the G.I.
Good, because let me tell you, I already had enough G.I. Joe action for for the first 2 weeks of December. You know?
Yeah, so here's a G.I. Joe villain.
Get out.
Next one, I did not like the movie presence of this villain. It seriously depressed me because it's such an iconic villain in the whole X universe, X-Men, X-Force, the whole 9 yards. And it's X Factor number 6, first appearance of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
They did him dirty.
Yeah, they did him dirty in the movie. Like, he's
Well, it's too bad because they got such a great actor to play him, and then they just
No. And then what the?
I don't feel like they did him super dirty, but like that movie is
His potential was wasted. Let's just
it
put
was
it that way,
wasted
right?
potential.
Yeah, they
Well,
did
I
a good
think
job
it's
with
a victim of
Salah.
the Fox trying to rush stuff out because them and Sony will do that. They'll try to put something
Yeah.
unwrap it and just not let it have its time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
they're
if you-
fighting Marvel all the time. They're like, no,
Oh, Eternals?
fellas.
And if you've never read this, like and you're just like you're
Good.
turned off because of what they did in the movie, I suggest to go read the series because you get this oblique, savage guy that can just he's so much different and interesting in the comic book versus this. Oh no, the humans locked me away.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I was really excited too because I'm like when they cast Oscar Isaac, I'm like that's a great actor.
Oh yeah, I had no problem with the guy they cast. He was perfect for the role. He seemed to do it well. But
And especially if you want him a little bit evil, if you ever seen him in Ex Machina,
oh yeah,
he is great in Ex Machina.
Yeah, he was very good in there. All right, to help placate to the YouTube algorithm. All right, we got Brave and the Bold coming out, which means we're going to have Red Hulk. Everybody's excited, right? So, yeah, we went
there you go.
Interesting thing in here, you also get the first appearance of the new Winter Soldier team. That's, Major Red, Dark Star, the whole 9 yards in that. Plus, it's the death of Abomination. And this is a debatable issue. I don't know why people are debating it. Right. It's very clear. But
it's only a cover appearance. That's the debate. It's only a cover appearance.
Now, don't you think they kind of played when they cast Harrison Ford in the role? I love Harrison Ford.
I do too.
He's ancient. So don't you think they kind of
they shot themselves in the foot on that one.
Well, I don't think so. I think
this awesome actor who's been with us for years, who's almost 80, just died. Let's go grab our standby 80-year-old.
Right.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
I think they cast him because they didn't plan to have the character past the movie, which I thought was like a spoiler. Casting Harrison Ford, I'm like, oh, so you don't have long-term plans for him? Got it.
Yeah. They'll do a prequel and they'll have him as a younger Ross.
I don't know. It's gonna be weird, but great iconic cover. I love the fact that he has no neck.
Yeah, head, body. That's it.
Just massive Hulk. Good stuff. This is an interesting one. All right, so now we'll get into some weird stuff. Not a key issue, I guess some people would say, but this is Flash number 142. This is the Trickster, or the second Trickster in Flash lore, if you will, from 1964.
Running with his briefcase.
Yeah. Okay. And I really like this issue because, and this is one of the weird things that I like. So if you look at the little pipe the guy's smoking.
Oh, yeah, he's blowing bubbles out.
Right? It's a colonial tavern pipe. It's a clay pipe. I have one back over here, right up there.
Holy crap. Right on.
Wow.
So you like the cover because of the pipe. The pipe got you.
I mean, pipe usually gets me too.
Now, Joe, have you used that pipe though?
Yeah, I smoke tobacco out of it only. I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't partake in other things. I drink way too much to be partaking in other things.
one vice at a time, right?
Yeah, right. It's all I can handle. That's all my wife will let me do, actually. But yeah, I like this.
What a weird character.
Yeah, so the Trickster, if you don't know who the Trickster is, it's kind of, and you can go to the Flash series and kind of look at the Trickster on there. But in the comic book, it's a tragic villain type of thing that turns into a trickster type villain, but he's extremely gimmicky. He's kind of like a toy master type character. Okay. So he's got like a jack in a box with a fist in it, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
right. As one should.
Yeah, he goes around fisting people. It's weird. And
the zingers just keep coming.
I wrote that joke down. I have my jokes with me. I'm not original. So.
No, but you are prepared, right?
Gotta prepare.
Luck favors the prepared.
All right, my favorite Spider-Man villain of all time. Well, second favorite. I'll go second favorite because it's a close second. Is an Amazing Spider-Man. Number 53 is my favorite cover of him. Not first appearance, but it is an iconic cover of Doc Ock.
Nice.
And I do love me some Doc Ock.
He is a good character.
And still arguably the best Spider-Man film.
Yeah. I would. That
one was so good.
Yeah, and bringing that actor back for No Way Home, that was just smart. That was just smart bringing those people back.
Yeah, I kind of like that actor for Doc Ock. You
got your little nostalgia pills.
Yeah.
And then the iconic "Nuff said," can't beat that. All right, let's see here.
And played the Trickster in the '90s Flash show as well as the recent Flash series. Really,
Gore's in a mood tonight.
Yeah.
Spider-Man facts.
I love Gore Vidal. He's a great guy.
Gore is great.
Is my favorite Batman villain, especially his Silver Age appearance. And it's from Batman number 159 is my favorite cover. And it's actually Clayface.
Wow.
He's looking like the Joker in this one. He made himself look like the Joker so he can pin a crime on the Joker. And so, out of my Silver Age collection, this is one of my favorite books to get. It was a great deal that I got it on at PlanetCon, actually. The first year I went to PlanetCon, I picked this up there. For a decent
thank
price.
Goodness.
Yeah.
The great Clayface Joker feud.
Yeah, it was so good.
Now, and that's someone, Joe, like, I don't know why they haven't used him in a movie yet. They had the technology today. Someone where they could just turn into something else and disappear into a crowd and completely put Batman just going crazy trying to find him.
I think the big thing is the whole gimmick with Clayface, right? Is this tragic actor, right? That lost his thing. He's a tragic villain, right?
Right.
I think why I just don't see it translating very well to take some has-been actor and it not come off gimmicky, and then he turns into a villain. Now, if we take the modern Clayface, where he was more of the horror type stuff, like the Gotham Gargoyles series, where Clayface was in that, and it was more horror based.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would hit, right? But like the gimmicky failed actor or child actor, and then he turns into Clayface, and he's just trying to get that next scene or whatever.
I love the Boris Karloff knockoff,
Yeah.
And I like that it starts off small, like all I wanted was that next big role, and then it just metamorphoses into, some kind of fantastical trauma that never ends. So he's just a super villain for life,
I could get that too. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very attracted to that version, and I like that he almost got a redemption arc in Detective Comics. And as usual, because it's comics and because it's Batman, they just did away with it. Well, I tried to be good for 5 seconds, but why?
Yeah. I did not like him in the Harley Quinn thing where they had him on there for a little bit. I was like,
in the animated series.
Yeah,
but that's just hilarious. That whole show can't be taken seriously. That show is just great.
It's animated. Come on.
I love him on that show. And freaking King Shark or Tiger Shark, whichever shark. Love them.
But John's Comics and Kinsey makes a good point. The animated series, the Batman animated series, the Clayface there, he enjoyed that. I didn't see that very much. Maybe an issue or an episode here and there. So
okay, first of all, go back and watch them. Amazing. And there's one episode featuring Robin that will absolutely break your heart with Clayface.
I think my favorite Batman animated series was actually Batman the Brave and the Bold. I think that one's way underrated.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But
I
again,
like Brave and Bold to begin with.
Yeah, well, Brave and the Bold is extremely fun and over the top and silver and hardcore Silver Age, even though it does a few fun things.
Yeah.
Like Dark Knight Returns Batman versus Red Kryptonite King Superman. That's hilarious.
But I'd like to see them do something serious with him, like they've done with the Penguin, because the Penguin was a villain played for laughs most of the time until recently. Like they could do that with Clayface and just.
Of course, you could do it with anything. You could take anything and just whitewash it with the Sopranos and get what you get. Okay.
Well, I'm not saying Sopranos him. I'm just saying give him some meat.
Some meat. Oh, do you have a tragic backstory with your oppressive mother or convoluted situation? You kind of want to sleep with your mom, don't you, Tony? I mean, Oswald?
I'm one of those people. I do not like to feel sad for the villain. I want.
No, you won't. Let me assure you.
I don't
Watch
like
Penguin. You will not feel sad for him. Now,
Oh, no, I watched Penguin. I loved Penguin. Yeah.
But you didn't feel sad for him, right?
No, I did not. He's
No,
still
they
dirty
made
old shit.
sure that he was a monster by the time it was over. They made sure.
That's right.
Well,
no,
here's
but you can make like a Hollywood noir kind of like
that's what I'm thinking.
thing with Clayface. It
That's
doesn't
what I
have to
was
be
thinking.
Sopranos.
Dark, kind of horror filled. Yeah, that just seems like the
Right.
right one for me. But I don't know. We'll see. I
Right.
watch weird shit all the time. I watch Ancient Aliens. I don't believe in any of that shit, but I watch it.
Yeah, it's a good show, isn't it? I enjoyed that one too.
And I love the gay guy with the hair. I love him. I met him.
Yeah.
All right, here's one I know most people have seen on a wall. It's Showcase Presents. This is number 55. It's first Silver Age appearance of Solomon Grundy.
There you
And
go.
it is the first Silver Age appearance of the original Green Lantern.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
So, yeah, love this book. Great story in here. Great classic tale. Who doesn't like just a crazy, dumb zombie? Again, another character that for some reason, when they're pitted to us now, like we have to feel sorry for them or they try to make them a good guy. It's a zombie. Just let it be a zombie.
right. Just let him be his evil ass self, right?
Yeah. We don't need villain. Every villain does not need a redemption arc. They can just be villains.
Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, classic
Great
book.
cover.
Plus,
Well, I like that you're picking like villains that aren't the main thing. Like you know, like,
yeah, I
we've
definitely
seen
wanted to
the
pick
main
something a
guys
little
too many
different on
times.
this one. Yeah, I could have pulled the first Penguin down, but that ship sailed in the YouTube algorithms.
Yeah, we want something that's going to hit.
Yeah.
Now, so what's your favorite Solomon Grundy story, Joe?
So it's this one actually.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly, it is actually this one. And then there was I forget the storyline, but it was the 2018. It was kind of a Halloween thing where they really went dark with him and made him like just a straight up living in the sewers zombie. Nothing redeeming about him. He was just there periodically. It was more like a side quest for Batman. But it really kind of stuck out because it was the first time that they brought back the old nursery rhyme that he would say.
Mhm.
Somebody just dropped something in my house and it broke. Hey, mine. I should have. But it was one of the first times in modern times that they brought back that kind of nursery rhyme. And the way that they did it reminded me of the kids singing the Freddie song. 1, 2, like they were singing it like that.
Oh,
So
Freddy,
what is
come
the
for
Solomon Grundy?
you.
You got to tell us what the Solomon Grundy one is. Then I don't know it.
I gotta find it.
Oh,
And the
okay.
whole words. What was it? Solomon was born on a Monday, died on a Tuesday, or something like that.
Yeah, there
like
was
that.
a whole rhyme that went with that. I
Nursery
remember.
rhyme, yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Because his
So-
name isn't actually Solomon Grundy. He's actually a mobster, big something or other. He just got the name Solomon Grundy because that was the nursery rhyme that he knew. His name isn't actually Solomon.
But you know, now you're saying how much you like your evil villains just to be evil and unapologetically so. You need an evil Lair shirt that just says unredeemable on it.
Unredeemable. Dead and loving it.
Right? Oh, Joe Piscopo.
There you go.
Wasn't that an old movie with him? I think so.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
when he was dead in that one.
Yeah. Here it is.
Born on a Monday. Yeah.
Christmas
on
on
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Saturday.
married on
on a
Wednesday,
Tuesday, married on a
took ill on
Wednesday.
Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, burned on
Yeah,
Sunday.
that's all I got.
That's it. Yeah.
Go, Taylor, go.
I knew somebody in the chat.
That's why he's the king of all nerds.
Yeah. And then we got Joe jumping right in with it too.
What does a Fabergé egg sound like when it breaks? Well,
Yeah.
Joe knows it's in his house.
Nice.
Oh, Joe copied it from the same place. Yeah, so did TM Nerdy. Those little Googlers.
Google search. Alexa.
All right, number 8, Joe.
What number are we on? I don't even know.
8.
What number. 8.
Yeah,
We're
you
on
just
eight
did
already?
Solomon Grundy showcase.
Boy, I feel like you're powering through. Jeez.
8. Yeah, we're powering through. We need to slow this down. Let the people enjoy this a little bit.
Right?
All right, so the next one's going to be very weird and obscure. It is the first appearance of the Teen Titans, and that's Brave and the Bold, number 45. I got this because of this weird-ass villain.
It is a weird-ass villain. I also don't consider it their first appearance. But yeah, weird-ass villain.
You don't consider Mr. Twister's first appearance in here?
I don't consider it the Teen Titans' first appearance. They're not the Teen Titans.
I don't care about that.
Up.
This is Mr. Twister.
That's me.
I don't know Mr. Twister.
First appearance. So this first and last appearance of this particular villain.
I mean, look at this dude. He looks like he was hanging out with George Washington. And then
he stole some Indian artifacts.
Right, then stole some Native American artifacts and went to town.
Story.
He stole it from your people, Steve.
That's the storyline. So it's a colonial guy.
He robbed my people, man.
Yeah. They brought him back. He comes back and he steals these ancient artifacts from the local Native Americans that control the weather or whatever. But this whole story right here is actually more interesting than that, because it's all about the dynamic between a town of people where the older people are getting tired of the kids getting out of control, and the young teenagers
off my lawn.
Are getting tired of the old fogies being in charge and not letting the kids live their life. And it actually turns into a little bit of dynamic between them and the sidekicks superheroes that they deal with too.
Right.
Like, hey, maybe sometimes we should let the kids make decisions is the conclusion, right? And the superheroes learn this too. So it was this kind of weird old fogey, young whippersnappers type of thing going on in the entire story. And then this guy comes and steals all the teenagers, and then everybody's sad because there's no kids around. And then Teen Titans want to get involved, but the superheroes feel that, no, this is not, important enough because they're teenagers.
Well, he was kind of a Pied Piper then too, huh? Taking all the kids.
Yeah, takes them and starts putting them to work to build them an island so he can rule over this particular town that his ancestors were kind of sort of running back in the day. It was a weird story, but it was kind of cool, a little dynamic of, and looking at it, the kids are hanging out at the soda pop shop and they got a little hangout place, like that kind of, I don't want to say 60 vibes. I wasn't alive then, but it seemed like it was older than that, than a 1960s story.
Right.
What a
It was really
there.
cool. So yeah, I picked this
You're
up.
saying it's got some good anachronic comic vibes to it.
Yeah, I picked this up at C2E2 one year. Yeah.
So his powers are derived from all the crap he stole, then, basically.
No one would want to steal a teenager. No wonder only one appearance.
One appearance, yeah. Like, go ahead, take him. Take him.
Learn
Take him all. Right.
I don't know. There's a lot of weirdos out there. Let's not,
He quit Colonial Ghosting after that. He was like, nope, I'm good. They called Diddy the Pied Piper in jail.
Yeah, and his unmarked carriage with no windows in it.
Right. Good one. So that villain I had never heard of, Joe.
Yeah, that's
it's a weird one, dude. It gets weird. Next one, you can't have villain covers without Doom. You just can't do it. Right? There's no way. Talking to a guy who made a Doom mask for somebody. So Avengers number 25 is the one that I picked, and it's the first conflict between the Avengers and Dr. Doom.
Oh,
wow.
Dr. Doom. Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
You went different. You didn't even go with FF. You get extra points for that.
Yeah, the FF seemed a little cheap. I wanted to do something a little cool in here. Plus, look at the way he's like just iconically standing there.
Right.
Like, come at me, dude. See what happens.
He's sitting there like zero fucks.
Yeah. Oh, the Avengers. How quaint.
Yeah, right.
No, quaint. Oh, look at you and your plate.
You're gonna give me some hors d'oeuvres or something?
Right. Go have a drink, Tony. Leave
There's
me
the
alone.
appetizers. Yeah.
Anachronic, I think Joe took these comics out of my childhood collection. Yeah, so that, and you know what's surprising about this book is, again, not a speculation guy. It's not my jam, but it being an iconic story, first of all, is always my thing. This is a great story to read because some of the shit that Doom comes up with to defeat to kind of battle the Avengers is just absolutely hilarious in here. But it was just such a great story that I enjoyed it so much. And I recommend, if you're going to buy the comic book, you should read the comic book. And this is a great story. So
now, how great would it be, though, if like in one of those Avengers films, it was Avengers and FF versus Doom?
I'm going to be honest with you. If they bring in the movie spec, right? If they bring in Dr. Doom, there has to be a scene. I don't care if it's an alternate timeline thing, 'cause they love doing that bullshit now. I don't care if it's some flashback scene of a battle or something. That cover appearance right there has to happen at some point where Doom's just standing there with his arms crossed, kind of laughing at the Avengers coming up like, hey, you need to stop because we're the good guys.
Yeah, stop again.
That has to happen.
Well, and I hope now that they're bringing him out, that they're gonna explore just him as a ruler of Latveria too, not just the cookie cutter bad guy we've got in cinema so far of Doom.
Yeah,
Like, you know, he's a ruler of a nation. He governs his people. I hope they incorporate that stuff.
Yeah, and he's extremely egotistical, but he's that type of egotistical that can back his shit. Like, he's not.
Your expectations are wild because this is still Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
This is still, I think the only big, like, oh my God, it just makes me sick. He's clearly multiverse Iron Man. So, like, all our expectations for Doom have to go into Squatter. I'm one of the few people who just absolutely hates what they've done here, right? But they need to put a pin in the Multiverse Saga. If they're going to put a pin in the Multiverse Saga, then why not do it with your greatest hero, the man who launched your MCU, is now whatever this is that you're fighting. You're like, oh God, it's Tony.
Oh, I agree with you. I was not, like, when they showed that, I was like, oh, you guys are hurting. I was like, you guys are.
If you need him to bring that back, because, you know, he started it off with Iron Man, so now they figured, oh, he can bring it back as Doom.
Hey, launch this next phase.
Maybe we can not screw up.
I'm just saying, I look forward to a true Doctor Doom after this, because come on.
Yeah.
And I won't bet against his acting abilities. If, you know, he could do it.
It's not against his acting ability.
I mean, Marvel definitely went the fan service route though, because they wanted to get people excited again. And
oh yeah, I could see that, but I still,
the last two Doom castings were my problems with the FF films. Like, I like the two Fox Fantastic Four films, even though a lot of people hate them. I didn't like the guy they cast as Doom. I thought all the other casting was fine. And I'm sure he's a great guy. I just didn't like him as Doom.
The guy they got the first time to play Dr. Doom, I thought did a good job.
I did.
But they keep giving him electric powers, which he doesn't have electric powers. Stop giving him
electric magic. It's all the same thing in the movies.
Right. It's
electric is magic.
The swirly sparkle thingy.
Yeah,
sparkle circle.
Electrical
and
thing.
Doom has had electric-ish powers. You know, he's firing beams and stuff. You know, give the man a break.
I would rather see a more technically advanced genius Doom than I would like to see magic woo-woo Doom.
Yeah.
Although I'm loving Sorcerer Supreme Doom right now. It's just this is beneath me. You get powers. This is beneath me. You get powers. Go handle these things.
But that's the thing though. Like, you got to capture the thing is that I like about the RGJ casting is he can play arrogance. Doom has arrogance.
Yeah, I like the arrogance. Then it's not even arrogance. I would say
like Doom just believes he's better than everybody. Like, there's no doubt in his mind.
Yeah, flat out.
I like the Noblesque attitude. Like, I am the king of no, and I am smarter than you. This is things you will have to accept.
Right. Well, did you get the memo? Things are my way.
Yeah.
So see, now Robert Downey Jr. seems like the perfect role for it, right? Because look at how arrogant he is as Iron Man. So
yeah, but that's comical, laugh arrogance. This is I will rip your face off arrogance.
Right.
Pull it off.
Yeah, this is you stepped in the wrong territory, arrogant.
Yeah. This is like this is more like if Steve White was talking shit to an MMA fighter, and then all of a sudden you get into the ring with the guy, and the guy's like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Run away, run away, run away.
It's like, that's a very different type of arrogance there.
Right?
That ain't happening.
Yeah, it's not cocky, smarmy arrogance.
Right. So the next one is a book that I don't think gets enough credit. So encouraging people out there. And I even looked this up on Key Collector app, and it's like a super cheap book, and I don't know why. But it's actually Adventure Comics number 552. It's a villain cover, right? We see Black Manta up there. This is the first time Black Manta identified his real identification or his real name. But what makes this book even sicker is Black Manta actually suffocates with his hands, chokes out Arthur Curry's son in this. Killed him with his own bare hands.
Damn.
Wow.
Definitely villainous.
Yeah. Look at the price I got this book for.
10 cents or $10?
$10? Wow.
And then I got a veteran's discount on it. So I was like, okay.
Perfect.
He literally chokes the kid out in the book. And I was just like, oh, that's tragic. It's a great story. I'm not a fan of Aquaman either. I think it's all underwater, woo-woo, talk to fish bullshit is something I'm not interested in. But I do love some Aquaman villains. Like, they got some sadistic villains. And Black Manta choking out a kid.
Call that a villain?
Right, yeah. You don't get much more dark than Child Killer.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Yeah.
So, yeah, love this book.
I'm still after that issue. I've missed out on it a few times.
Yeah, I'm definitely. It's a great book to have. It's a cool story. Again, I assume people read the things that they get. If you don't, you just want covers. Probably not that exciting. But if you want to read a good story, Aquaman story that is, hey, let me get on my seahorse. You're like, that bullshit. You want to get away from that.
Aquaman sucks.
Like, Black Man.
You know, I don't care for this much Aquaman bashing, to be clear, all right? I mean, like, you know, we all have hard times, all right? Good Lord, but he's still Aquaman.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I never minded Aquaman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I'm a sucker for underwater stuff. Like if you give me underwater horror, I'm instantly there. Like isolation horror, underwater horror.
Oh my goodness! I'm not sure I've been in underwater horror.
Leviathan.
Try.
What? Leviathan, Deep Star 6, that underwater movie which nobody watched, which was actually really good. I thought the Kristen Stewart one. And it had a little bit of the Cthulhu mythos in it. That was actually a decent movie.
Yeah.
But that was like when everybody was hating on her, so nobody went to see it.
Kingdom of Nerds.
Holy crap, man.
Yes, Creature of the Black Lagoon, which I watch every couple months. I love that original black and white film.
Oh, yeah.
And another creature that has just been underserved in Hollywood. Everything else has been made to death, but no, not Creature from the Black Lagoon. Let's not do that.
Well, they kept trying and they kept failing with their whole, dark universe thing.
Underwater horrors do seem dangerous. Yeah, and I love like even submarine movies. I love if it's underwater. I don't know. There's something automatically like a cool element.
I remember seeing The Hunt for Red October. And
oh, yeah.
I saw that at the theater.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, so you guys liked that movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, couldn't tell you the ending. I fell asleep. It's a bunch of tubes floating around underwater.
I like that, but I mean that was like
a lot of espionage and intrigue involved.
Sean Connery was a Russian.
He had good accent.
I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, oh, this is decent, and I didn't expect anything out of it. Maybe you expected something. I don't know.
Greyhound was a good one. That was a nice one with Tom Hanks. That was well done.
Well,
I've
been scuba diving. I went underwater scuba diving. I was like, yeah, this is cool. So this is pretty much what it's always going to look like. This hobby's done.
Oh, and while we have circumstances here, don't forget, guys, after this show, go over to Marcus's channel and watch FOC and Chill. He was going to take tonight off, but he said, no, I'm going to be here for my audience and my crowd, and he will have an FOC and Chill over on his channel around about 9:30, I believe.
Which he has control for about 5 minutes, and then it just goes right off the rails. It's awesome.
Now, Joe, do you want to go with your spec pick first or your personal extended story first?
I'm going to go with spec first, which is obvious because of recent events. And then I'll go personal story, and I'll throw in a couple of honorable mentions.
Ooh, I like honorable mentions.
Yeah, we'll throw in some
Bravado clause.
I like your chat. They seem like cool people. I'll help them out.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Gore Vidal entered the chat. That automatically makes it a cool chat.
Okay, right. All right. So spec pick first, right?
Yep.
So of course I have to go with Craven, but believe it or not, it's not his first appearance. I have that book, but it's not my favorite Craven cover. It's this one. Amazing Spider-Man number 47.
Oh, that's a classic though.
That should have been the first. That should have been the first appearance cover right there, because there is like, ta-da! I'm here, bitches.
Right.
That should have
By
been
the
it.
way, that book has seen a surge recently since the announcement of the movie.
That's why it's my spec.
Yeah, because it has the better cover. You know, like it's insane.
Oh, look at you.
Double.
So-
Oh my god, I can have my Craven Eiffel Tower.
So not only is this my spec, but let me tell you why this is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains out there. Because in the original story, which, by the way, shameless plug, over on my channel, on my read-along
Ballerina
series,
shoes on.
you can read the first arc of the first appearance of him and how that worked out. He had no superpowers. There was nothing super special about him. He was just an excellent trained hunter. At top
Right.
of
It was
the
all
game,
training.
right? He's just he uses wits and primitive techniques to hunt down Spider-Man. And I love, and you know why he did it all? Not because he hated Spider-Man. He could care less about Spider-Man.
He wanted the hunt.
He wanted the challenge. Oh my God. There is nothing more dangerous than a man with a goal. And I think that just speaks volumes when it comes to a villain. Like, I do not care about you. This is not personal. I do not like you. I do not hate you. I need to see you go away because that's my goal. And I was just like,
well, that and back then too, like, well, the best Craven stories to me where he's a little bit unhinged. He's a little bit like his obsession takes him over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. Joe's got to check on his collection, make sure you haven't
Makes a great
stolen all
villain,
this
that's
stuff.
for sure.
He does.
Naaman.
So if you don't know, the reason why this is my spec book is not only because it's a Craven with the movie coming out, but they just today pulled the movie from like 1,000 theaters because the original tracking on the numbers was horrible. So my thinking is that they're going to stretch out the time frame that you would have it in a movie theater and relaunch it back in the January time frame. So all your iconic because that's what the YouTubers use. What's the hot news, right? So the longer something stays in a news cycle, the more it gets released, the more they're going to talk about it. So you should start seeing this information on Screen Crush and everywhere else within the next, if you haven't already.
I didn't know they pulled the movie.
They didn't pull it from all. They left it in 3,000 movies. Now, why is that important? Because if you look at Morpheus and Madam Web, they left those in the theaters knowing that they were going to do bad. They were in 4,200 theaters throughout the United States. We're only at about just under 3,000 movie theaters now that have a launch because Wicked came out. Why waste your time on a possible bad movie when you're going to get something that everybody wants to see? And Mulan 2, or not Mulan, what's the Hawaiian girl? Or not Polynesian? Moana, that's it. That's apparently doing very well. So they pulled it out of the main theaters so they can fill more seats for those two movies. So one or two things are going to happen. They're either going to relaunch it again in the January, call it a master cut, edited version, whatever, or they're going to go straight to streaming. Either way, it's going to stay in the news cycle, and that's what everybody on YouTube uses to promote their news. So more Craven news to come.
Nice.
Right. There's your spec.
And with the Sony movies, like I literally can't stand the Venom ones, and I don't like the bash on stuff. But for me, they're just straight garbage. Like they're hard to watch. I watch them for my kid. He likes them. I don't like Jared Leto as an actor, but I did like Morbius when everyone else hated it. I did enjoy Morbius.
Yeah,
I think
I don't mind watching Morbius at all. I find it enjoyable.
I thought they messed up on Morbius. First off, you shouldn't get Doctor Who to play a villain in a movie. That was
right. Well, you knew he was a
Y'all
villain
know
right
how I
away.
feel about Jared Leto. You would give him the time of day. Unbelievable.
And Jared Leto is a great actor. I'm not taking anything away from Jared Leto and anything he's done before. But that movie, for what Morpheus is, and we know that people are drawn to more grittier comic books and more grittier characters, that kind of came off I don't know. They should have went a little darker with that. That, again, another opportunity to make a horror movie instead of a comic book movie. I think that would have probably resonated more with people today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just keep giving these movies to directors who've never read a comic, though.
That's a problem.
And you know what? I'm not one of those people, like, I want to be clear. I'm not like one of those comic gate people. I don't think you shouldn't have some freedom of expression.
Absolutely.
You get a piece of property and be able to expand on it. I totally agree with you. But to understand a character's motives and things like that, if you want to, instead of just popping in a character as an Easter egg, pop in some of those motives that make them a horrible, again, villains are irredeemable. There's a reason why we're drawn to the villain. It's never when they have a redemption arc. It's always when they're at their worst.
And yet, look at Magneto.
There you go.
And a villain we didn't see tonight, because not always a true villain.
Not always a true villain. I can't.
Magneto was always a true villain until they decided to give him an origin. You know? And then all of a sudden, my childhood, Charles, you don't understand what they took from me. Charles, you were the one that called us evil. All right, Eric, calm down. All right, y'all two are having a lover's quarrel, and just you drag everyone into it. You need to stop.
Also, I will say this about modern movies and villains, and them being the resident comic book community expert on villains.
We'll allow it.
Not every bit of trauma in your life happened in your youth,
right?
To make you a villain. Like, just because something happened to you as a kid. No, I'm not taking away from anybody's trauma out there. We're talking about fictional characters. If you're having things you need to deal with, definitely, get that help, right? We're talking comic books and fun stuff, right? I don't want to make it seem like I'm gleaming over that kind of stuff. But like every single disappointment or trauma thing that happened to you as a kid doesn't automatically translate into this long scale time of one day you've had enough and you remember that day and all of a sudden you want to destroy the world. No, some people are just dicks and assholes. Sometimes
some people can be bored awful, but some people suffer a combination of abuse and neglect and household dysfunction, and those things don't get addressed, and then you have
I totally agree, but it's not I think in a movie aspect, if you have to explain everything in an hour to hour and a half to 2 hours, the average length of a movie, right? Throwing up, like, Magneto had a great opportunity there. They could have gone a lot darker with that. Definitely. But like, what's a good example? Oh, the villain. We'll just use him. Like the guy that, like, he was a snobby kid that didn't get what he wanted. And because he didn't get what he wanted, he got a symbiote or not a symbiote. He became a vampire to become a bad guy. That's like kind of a weak backstory there. Like, can you imagine not getting a Christmas and then all of a sudden you want to be a vampire?
Right.
Well, that's the story of the Grinch, isn't it?
No, his heart grew 3 times bigger. He didn't.
No, but that's the end. He was a villain because he didn't get what everybody else was getting.
Again, not every villain needs a redemption arc.
See, my trope that I can't stand is parents died in a car accident or a house fire, and now I'm evil.
Yeah, what is that about? You would think Sorrow would have sat in, right? Took that over, or at least some weird case of nihilism, right? But
I can listen. I can't read into all of it. Like, some of it is, you end up becoming consumed by things like your paranoia, and that could actually make a really interesting villain. Someone withdrawn, who's like, no, like, I can't trust any of you, and I have to do it my way.
I'm on Joe's side. Some people are just bad.
Yeah, some people are just bad.
I mean, there's always my brother.
Oh, I've told people straight up. I always live that. Don't you think you're a good person? I don't know what this term means. Good person. You're
Well, no, I
not
mean,
a
that's
good
the trope
person.
we don't like.
You just do good things. You're not a bad person. You just do bad things. There's nothing infernally
I've
evil or good about you.
I've always stood by the fact that anybody who has to stop and think about that answer and say something to the effect of, I hope I am, then you're probably a good person. You know, or at least somewhere in the.
Or you got heads in the freezer because you really love the girl and you want her to live forever in your heart.
We all saw that Ryan Reynolds film. Stop it. Stop it.
Or you're like Anakin and you consider that Jedi are evil.
Right?
Perception. It's a matter of perception.
You do good things, you do bad things. You personally, I don't fall into the philosophy of thinking that you are a good or bad person. You can either do good things or do bad things. I promise you've done both.
Oh, I know I've done both. I just hope that I'm a good person.
No, I wasn't talking to you directly. I'm not pointing you out directly.
No, but I'm directly using myself as an example.
You triggered him, Joe. Good job.
No.
Jim wasn't here, Joe. Trigger Jim wasn't here for me. You had to fill the spot.
This is the origin of Cliff's evil.
Right, tomorrow he's going to start with everybody in the company.
No, the origin of my evil is gonna be public. If I ever snap, y'all will know. I will name names.
So this is a good segue into my book with a personal story. I purposely picked this subject for this because this book is a good example of what I'm talking about. And I may have shown it here before, but I can't talk highly enough about this book. And it's Superman 149. It's an Elseworld story.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the first appearance of Flash in a Superman title. And it is the first original dead Superman. He did not come back from this Elseworld story. He is dead in this. And the great thing about this book is, again, what we're talking about, the difference between good and bad, right? Or born evil, born good, however you want to put that. In here, Lex Luthor's a villain. He's in jail. He does a good thing. He finds the cure for cancer in it. It's a good thing. Then he cures cancer, and then he does all this other good stuff. And Superman is like, hey, maybe he's turned a cheek here. Maybe he's a better guy, right? So then he kind of starts helping him because mobsters are kind of tired of Lex Luthor, and he knows way too much information on him. So next thing you know, you find Superman saving Lex Luthor while Lex Luthor's going around doing all this good guy shit, right? So then Superman gets this bright idea. He's like, hey, wait a second, man. These mobsters want to kill him all the time. And all he wants to do is his super duper big brain science stuff, right? So let me put him at a space station hovering Earth to do his big brain science stuff. So Superman builds him the thing, puts him up there. He's like, hey, me and Lex Luthor buried Hatchet. We're buddies now. And Lex Luthor's like, yeah, we're super good friends. Hey, come on up to the station, see what I've done.
To show you.
And kills him. Kills Superman. Why? Because the hate for Superman never, ever, ever left. He literally was just doing good guy shit after good guy shit just to kill his arch nemesis. You want to talk about evil and bad? Show me a story that does that in comic books today.
I will be hard pressed. But hopefully by next year, my book will be out and you'll see some of that.
I hope so too. I will read that shit. But yeah, this is my favorite Lex Luthor story because it is a great example of, yes, even though you can go around and do good guy stuff at the end of the day, why are you really doing it? To be better for yourself, to be better for other people, or to advance some hidden agenda that the rest of us don't know about. And it's always a good lesson in that because it really asks you about your philosophy.
Yeah, because he was still rotten and percolating on the inside.
Yeah, but he cured cancer. So the question is he a good guy or a bad guy?
No, I think the most evil portrayal of Lex Luthor is in the movies as a real estate guy.
Well, that's real estate people as a whole.
I'm like, why do they keep making him a real estate guy in these Superman movies? Just let him be evil.
It's 80s. Like it was the 80s then.
Right?
North, Miss Tessmacher. North.
Well, that was part 2. And that was, oh, yeah, you know what? That was also a little bit about real estate, but he wanted to rule. He's like, just give me Australia. Just give me Australia.
Yeah, that's all he wanted.
Yes.
CJ is a real estate.
TJ is a real estate guy.
That's exactly what Joe was talking about, Nami. No, I'm just kidding.
Pop a brain right
That
there.
explains everything. As soon as he wrecked the train set, he was
He
evil.
was evil. One of my favorite, honest to God, if you can find this book, and I don't see it very often, and I know I've mentioned it on this channel before, but when you ask me to tell a personal story, immediately my brain goes to philosophy, and this is some good stuff.
And that was 149?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pink cover.
I might have to read that one. Just, I've read a couple of Superman stories that Joe recommended and liked them, so I might have to read that one.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can say it's a little two-dimensional, but all 10-cent issues are kind of like they didn't dive deep into stuff the way they do today. But this is so topical right there that at the end of the story, you really have to question yourself. That great adage, that kind of philosophy little thing that you play, do you kill hundreds of people versus one person on the train track, right? The philosophy test. This really asks that because the death of Superman in this, to keep this kind of cure of cancer, to keep pumping out there and all this great stuff that he can do because he is smarter to some degree. But at the end of it, will it consistently kill? Is killing Superman justified in this case? How many people? Here's the best question. How many people can Superman save versus what Lex Luthor can save? And which one's the better option when given the choice? Because you can't stop a man from doing something, or anybody for that. I say man, I mean all of humanity. But you can't really stop somebody from coming up with something that means to do something. So the question is, how do you curve that ambition to the best amount of good? Utilitarianism versus deontology. That's your big brain nerd moment for the night. I'm sorry.
Don't get me started on how much I love totalitarianism. Oh my God, the Cliff bots. Oh Lord,
I'm a deontologist by nature. I'm sorry.
The world would love me and fear me. I'll be all about it. Beer gardens for everyone. Curfews at 11. Every child will have an hobby or else.
Yeah.
And you don't even want to know what's available on Sundays, but it is wicked.
No, that's another thing. You are a big Star Trek fan, aren't you, Joe?
Yes, I am.
We might have to do a Star Trek 10-on-1 with you one time.
I don't have a whole lot of Star Trek stuff. I can do my favorite episodes.
We could do that.
I can pull the clips from my favorite episodes ever. I can do that. I'll work on that. We'll keep it in the background for when you need it.
For which one though? OG series, Next Generation.
You know what? I didn't pick a time frame tonight. I had a little bit of everything going on.
There you go. A little bit of everything.
I know. Maybe we could get Jackson Roykirk to show his face and do a Star Trek episode.
Yeah. Some honorable mentions. I think I've shown this before. This is my
on the Joe show that you did.
There we go. Now we're cooking.
That's Jane Jung, one of my favorite G.I. Joe villains, right? Firefly. Love this. I remember us talking about the rig out.
Yep.
That's what the gear he wears. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
We were talking about how unpractical it is, but it looks super fucking cool.
Yeah. Good luck trying to get those grenades up top there. Eh?
Yeah, you ain't getting this. And that you never put the pins on the outside of anything in the military.
Pull.
Right.
Right.
Right. I can't tell you. And that was actually, and I always have to shout it out when I get an AOK from somebody. That was an AOK from Nick's Kids Comics because when we were at Heroes, I was not able to get a copy of it because I waited too long to get in line for it. But Nick's Kicks and Comics took care of me and sent that to me as an AOK, and I'll never forget that. Anybody that sends me anything goes over here, it goes someplace where I can constantly remind myself that there are good people out there. Because I'm one of those people that will slip into that, I will destroy the world.
It's easy, unfortunately.
It's easy. Next one, I just really like this cover. I don't know why. It's not a first appearance. It's not a particular. It's just an iconic cover, and it's Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #99. It's the Spot.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. Like it was
Like Polka Dot Man's in the Marvel version.
It's just a fun cover, though.
It's
It is
such
a
a
great
fun
cover.
cover, and it's just interesting to me. I don't know why.
I mean,
And I
you know,
love, so like when I see things, I look at things as the way you would design it or whatever, and I just found it fascinating that he was able to keep the correct proportions for the arms and the legs and stuff.
he probably just visited, you know, a bathhouse with a bunch of glory holes and was like, "Oh, this is exactly what I needed." No, Peter, I didn't come here for that.
It does.
Are you
make a
saying,
weird
are you
idea,
saying those
but
are a
yeah.
bunch of glory holes?
Yes.
Wow.
And I always love to bring up weird and eclectic type. I'm sorry, go ahead, Cliff. You got
Oh, that's
something.
it. Don't even get me started. You know these were a bunch of dirty old pervs, even if they didn't know it. How many times was Dazzler kissed unconsensually in the first 34 issues of her series? They're just a dirty old men writing comics, having a good time.
Yep.
Yeah, they were all sitting around drinking old fashions and cigars. Like,
I know. I was gonna say Stan
But
Lee's
bring me
stole
that.
a woman from another man. I mean, come on. The love is
And I may have that series 2 or 3 times over.
That's when you could drink at work. Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, the good old days.
I remember when I was a kid, people just having a beer in their car as they're driving.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that happens today because it's illegal.
Yeah, not a good idea.
I'm just saying, I got to get to point A to point B, and I got to do it without road rage.
Challenge is a challenge, apparently.
It is. All right. So, and the last one, I kind of had out there for you was Two Gun Kid. This is unconfirmed. I want to put that out there. I don't care how many YouTubers say it. Nobody that created this comic book has ever said this, but it's supposedly the prototype for Black Panther. And he's a villain in this book. It's a white guy running around doing bad guy shit, right?
Right.
But the creators of this comic book never confirmed that.
Or denied.
Right, because they're dead.
Yeah.
So they
I mean, that's
We need to resurrect them to find out.
But like randomly, YouTubers started popping up and saying that it was a prototype for Black Panther, and then like it just kind of fell into Key Collector, and then other people started saying it, and I've never seen anything from any of the creators in this say anything about this being a prototype in any way. Now, does it look like Black Panther?
Oh, spot on.
Right.
Or does it look like Beast with black fur?
Yeah, it could be that too, right? With a gun.
I'm sorry. I'm really rooting for it. It looks an awful lot like Black Panther.
Yeah.
But it was a easy way for people to make a dollar comic, spec book.
Or is it Batman in a loincloth?
Yeah, right. Like I don't know, but if you actually read this, it's quite a racist comic book.
And Mark Andrews agrees with you.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I mean,
Bobby says there's a reprint of that where he's red.
Yeah. Yeah, there actually is. Yes, I've seen
Now
that.
you have brought that comic up before too, so I know it's one of your favorites.
Yeah, I like it because I think it's a good example, and I don't want to be one of those guys that is out there trashing the comic book. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not a spec guy or anything. I just read comic books. I tell you what I think about comic books. And every now and then something gets stuck in my head and I start doing research. So I think this was one of those comic books where we have a spec book tonight. I think this is one of those books that should never have been spec'd on the way that it is. I think, again, if we can't confirm something, then all you can do is guess. And guess is not speculation. Speculation's not guessing. So I think that's been taken blown up out of control. Is the book worth the value that they say? Not for the reason they do, because if you actually read the book, there's actually some very interesting things that do go on in there that I can't confirm or affirm that are first time in comic books, but it's kind of for its time. I thought it was pretty edgy and pretty on point to today's philosophies. So I thought that part of it was interesting. But yeah, the spec thing.
What Bobby just said. I'm not a spec guy. I just play one on YouTube.
Yeah, I should play one on YouTube. So yeah, always a weird book, but a great book. And I think old school Westerns don't get the attention that they need because they address
Right.
things like brothels providing a bunch of money to education in an area. They did that in the golden age in the Western comic books, and that's an actual factual historical thing you can find. They talked about the Chinese working the railroad and all these things that we find very important today that we keep telling ourselves that nobody ever recognized,
Right.
but it's actually pointed out in comic books. Comic books always pointed that stuff out. And I always thought that was kind of cool. And I think sometimes it's something that kind of gets looked over.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a good point.
That was me on my high horse. Again, just doing good things because I'm not good or bad. Just doing good things.
But great books.
Thank
Love the honorable mentions, of course. Let me see what folks that are going to figure out you. Oh, okay. But awesome books, Joe. I really love the villain theme. That was a lot of fun. And I like that you agree, or at least think the same. Like some things are just evil, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's not always a tragic story behind evil.
Yeah. If you want to crush, how can I put this? We talked about this in the military a lot. If you want something that is evil to go away, something that we can all agree on evil that needs to go away. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, you have to make the decision, whose life are you willing to take to make the evil go away? And that's the great thing about an irredeemable villain, because then they can disappear and go away. Yeah, that's rough. Welcome to military life.
Okay, Joe is getting topical all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. Woo. What am I even what am I holding? What is this? Why do I own this Green Hornet? What the hell am I looking at here?
Oh my goodness, you got the vapors.
Oh, great. But Joe, great episode, dude.
Thank you.
Love seeing the books. Every time you're on, it's always fun. You always point out something interesting. You always bring up some cool facts or just something that's a misnomer, which is always cool.
Thank you.
And we're going to go around those who everyone's got coming up. We, of course, are going to start with Steve the Voice White, as we do on Tuesdays.
I don't know what's going on. I'm going to be on Anachronic Comics on Friday. He's doing an espresso mail call, so that'll be fun.
Oh, there you go.
I hope I one day earn a re-invite to the Espresso Mail call.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure it is. It's just the one time I was supposed to be on. I had too many personal things happen, and I missed out. And no one has reached out to me.
Don't you know Joe's a one strike and you're done kind of guy? You don't get three strikes with Joe.
He is fit and in his 70s, so it could be problematic.
Right.
But I respect him enough. That that's it.
He does them every month, so I mean, you got opportunity after opportunity as the future unfolds ahead of us.
So, Cliff, that leads us to you. What's coming up for you, good sir?
Oh, honey, sweetie, sugar pie. I mean, it's a good thing the guest goes last. So tomorrow night, you can catch me at 8 p.m. on the Council of Comics. We have a phenomenal giveaway this month for our giveaway box, because not only are we celebrating the spirit of the holidays, but we're also celebrating our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So it's just a phenomenal box. There's 30 slabs. There's over 35 comics. There's toys included. You know, get yourself a duck for the ultimate duck race of this December. On Thursday night, I'm back here with Gary B as we pit Mark from the Egypt Comics and
they had to cancel. Mark's got to do something with the family. We are now, I was going to tell you after the show, we are now rescheduled for January 9th.
There you go.
You dirty dog. Okay, so apparently
Mark ended up having to go Christmas tree hunting with the family.
Yeah, you're gonna buy a Christmas tree.
Right, because that just happens all the time. It's just a Christmas tree. That's all.
Important.
It's a Christmas tree episode. You know what? Do you know what I would give to live stream Mark Christmas tree shopping and doing his movies?
But all right, put it in your calendar. We're rescheduled January 9th.
I just did. All right. On Friday night, I'm doing episode 2 of Comics and Cocktails with TM Nerdy. And again, I'll be the only one drinking. I'm going to make a cocktail based on the Sandman. It's going to be very interesting.
Oh, I have to interrupt. I'm sorry, but the last Cocktails and Comics you made, I made the drink you had on there.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Right? Thank
I
you.
have
The price
recipes
is
for
right.
drinks too, by the way. If you ever need something, hit me up on DM. I'll shoot you something.
Hey, I get creative. My storm cloud drink was very good on Saturday morning. Hi, Naman. So on the 17th, it's Comics and Cocktails again, episode 3, this time with Gary B, the casual comic guy. So that drink is going to be a Conan-based drink. And probably because it's a work night, this loser is going to make me drink alone again. And of course, you can find me on the Council of Comics on Sundays at 5, Mondays at 8, Wednesdays at 8, all Eastern Standard Time. And then I'm back with Gary B on the 19th as Phil from the Council of Comics does the 1011 with his Laserdisc collection. And Brucifer from Kingdom of Nerds joins me on December 21st for Comics and Coffee with Cliff. And good Lord, I'm not going to read the rest of the calendar. It is.
And I need to reach out to him and get him on in January.
Wow.
Yes, you should. I mean, he just discovered you. You're welcome.
I'm not sure I'm worthy of discovery, but all right. So coming up for me, Thursday was canceled, but fear not, everyone's got a live show this Friday night. This Friday, I'll be on at 8:00. It is the annual Lucky VIP Lounge gift exchange. So me and the guys that participate in Lucky VIP Lounge will be on with our boxes from whoever's name you drew. You send each other a mystery box. There's always a cap on it. We always go over the cap because we're stupid. But you'll see that gift exchange. Just a bunch of great guys. I've been in that lounge since I first got into YouTube. I got invited on early, and it's just a good group of people. I don't really get to participate a lot because I'm usually busy, but I do go through, read the conversations, and laugh. And I'm kind of a quiet guy outside of this, so. But it's going to be fun. Like I said, next Tuesday, Cliff already said it. I'm on his channel, so there will be no 1011 next Tuesday. I will be all Cliff's next Tuesday night, so I will watch him drink alone.
That's how they play me.
And of course, Joe, what's coming up for you, sir?
So again, tomorrow before 6 p.m., I will drop my comic book haul-in review, everything that I'm putting out there, what I read this week, what I thought of it. I've been trying to shorten those videos up a little bit. I know they can be a little long-winded because I rant, obviously. Evil Lair Project. I'm sorry.
I said, as you should.
Yeah, I just rant. But I say good and bad things. Like, I think I'm one of those few comic book reviewers out there that has no problems with saying, hey, look, this is why this didn't work, and I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why I really love things. And I definitely want you to agree or disagree with me. I'm always happy to have those conversations. And we have a project for the end of the month. Will it get done in time? That's the question. I'm still waiting for a motor to come in. But over at Evil Lair Projects and Builds, either one of these names, I'll get it right one of these days. Either one of these names will get you to me in a search bar. I make random things for YouTubers or myself, or just to figure out how to make things. I try to keep everything comic book focused, but I'm a nerd at heart. So come nerd with me. We can nerd together. Get our nerd juices all flowing together.
Well, don't get. Wow, you really stuck the landing and get me excited there, didn't you?
He's just pumping it out, pumping it and pumping it and pumping it. Man,
Right? Yeah, the video he did for Rob's birthday.
Yeah, I do. I'm not right in the head, so come by and hang out with me. We'll do some crazy shit.
Well, I think that's one of the most fun things about you. You're not right in the head, right? Who wants someone that's always right in the head? That's kind of boring.
No, see, the thing is, like, I clearly got to stay away from Joe because, like, I'm attracted to guys who aren't right in the head, but then you think you're going to do some really hot, freaky bedroom shit, but that's not what happens.
No, I don't. I don't suffer from trauma. I'm the guy that says, I've Bet you we can drop that building with a gallon of gas.
No, I know, and no, at the second drink mark, I'm gonna run away from you because it always happens to me. You know, one night I ended up in a freaking graveyard. You know, because I was like following a hot guy around, and I was like, oh my god, he's so unhinged, it's hot, and no. And then, of course, I finally did get an unhinged hot guy, but then, like, without the medication made him it was just
you see, Cliff, that's if you follow boobs, they never take you to the graveyard.
You are a liar. You know damn well
that I have never to an early graveyard.
I have never had boobs take me to a graveyard.
Hot to crazy
absolutely fascinating.
Women, you know this. You know.
Oh no. Don't get me wrong. I think the crazy ratio is the same. It's just a different crazy.
It is, but let me tell you, you just haven't met the girl to take you to a graveyard. You just haven't met her. I have. Shout out to Cynthia. You know,
I was with Remy Q Studios. We walked into a strip. I don't like strip clubs, but we walked into a strip club. Lady walked up to me. I gave her $40 to walk away from me.
Please don't bother me again.
Like this, I'm here hanging out with my friend. Go away.
Wow.
Tony. Oh, Tony's in. Tony, you caught us at the end here, buddy. And of course, Mark is right. Crazy is crazy.
He's crazy.
Luckily, though, I think Cliff, you must be hanging out with the wrong people if they all keep taking you to graveyards.
No, that was just one time. You guys don't listen to me, or I don't know how to speak, but that was just one time.
This one time at band
my wife's
camp.
trying to put me in a graveyard, so I feel you.
I mean, you know, if I had an unchained man all up in his super garage, you know, forging weird shit all the time, I mean, I might be a little bit concerned too and try to come up with a plan.
And of course, we can't end this night without saying thank you to the audience that has been here. You guys have been great in the chat. We certainly appreciate it, but we are going to be infringing on circumstances time soon, so we don't want to do that. Not that this show would make a dent in what he does. Mark's got his own great thing going over there and his own followers. Right. And so a big shout out to Marcus. Please go check him out after this show, guys. Mm-hmm. He's probably prepping already over there. He's always fun. He's always great and great defender of the community. We love Marcus over here. And we also love all you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for being here for us. Thanks for supporting our guests. Everyone's links are in the description below. Please go follow these great people. There's not a bad person here in the panel. If not an openly bad person here on the panel.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Right? You guys know what I mean. So, you know, I love doing these shows. I'm always surrounded by people I love in the community. So this is always a pleasure for me. It's always a great hangout. But as we like to end these things, keep it casual.